of US election results and interest rate decisions from the US Federal Reserve and our very own Bank of England, the focus in the coming few days may turn to company news, as 14 members of the FTSE 100 index are due to release results or a trading update by next Friday. The figures from, deep breath, Croda, DCC, Vodafone, AstraZeneca, Experian, Smiths Group, Intermediate Capital, Land Securities, B&M European Value Retail, 3i, Aviva and Spirax should all be informative about the companies themselves, their industries, and in some cases perhaps the wider economy. But for all of that august list, the two firms that may attract the greatest attention are the utilities, SSE and United Utilities. They're due to report first half results on Wednesday the 13th and Thursday the 14th of November, respectively. Now, the timing of these results is interesting for four reasons. First, utilities dodged any windfall taxes in the new government's first budget. Second, they remain under public scrutiny over the environment, investment, and especially bills at a time when inflation is squeezing a lot of consumers' pockets. Third, the AMP8 or AMP8 regulatory determination from water regulator Ofwat is due in December, and United Utilities has actually been ranked one of the best water providers, albeit with an average rating, and it's been awarded outperformance payments as a result. And fourthly and finally, interest rate cuts from the Bank of England could, in theory, make the dividend yields available from utility stocks more attractive on a relative basis to cash. Now, SSE is a broad-ranging power play, and the shares are up by around 10% over the past year, and they're actually not too far from their all-time highs. SSE generates electricity from gas-fired power plants, on and offshore wind farms, and hydroelectric plants, and it also provides and runs electricity transmission and distribution networks. Just over half of its 5.9 gigawatt hours of power generation capacity comes from conventional thermal stations and gas storage, and just under 40% comes from wind and hydroelectric. And both of those have got a key role to play in terms of SSE's £20.5 billion Net Zero Acceleration Programme, or NZAP, which was launched back in 2021. The plan there is to grow that asset base to 9 gigawatt hours by 2027, with renewables leading the way. In terms of earnings, in the year to March 2024, renewables was the biggest earner, followed by thermal and gas storage. Watch out here for any update from Chief Executive Alistair Phillips-Davies, and increases are currently being forecast by the company from distribution and renewables, with decreases from transmission and thermal gas storage, and a flat outcome from Energy Customer Solutions in the year to March 2025. Remember, the business is sensitive to seasonal weather patterns, power plant performance, and swings in energy prices. In terms of the first half figures, there are two numbers that will probably write the headlines. The first is adjusted earnings per share, or EPS, where SSE is targeting a compound annual growth rate of 13 to 16% between 2022 and 2027. That will take EPS to between 175 and 200 pence a share, up from 158.5p in the year to March 2024. Analysts expect a more modest rate of growth this year, though, and the benchmark for that first half result is last year's adjusted EPS figure of 37p. The second number to watch is the dividend. SSE cut its dividend in 2024 to 60 pence a share to fund the development of its renewable assets. The plan now is to grow that figure by 5 to 10% a year out to 2027, and the first half payment a year ago was 20 pence a share. United Utilities is a water and wastewater provider in the northwest of England. It's preparing for the AMP8 regulatory cycle that runs from 2025 to 2030, and that will set both pricing and substantial capital investment requirements, the latter amid the furore over leaks and floods and sewage overflow and releases. United Utilities is already accelerating capital investment at the end of the AMP7 regulatory cycle as it gets ready for AMP8, and any comments on the new cycle will be important, although we may have to wait for those until actual publication of the final report from Ofwat on the 19th of December. Worries over the Ofwat review have weighed upon a United Utilities share price, which is down over the past year and is some 15% below the all-time high that it reached in late 2021. Besides the capital investment budget, the other big figure to watch may well be the dividend, not least as this could be seen as a guide to management's confidence in the business and regulatory outlook. Analysts expect a 4% increase in the full-year payment to 51.87 pence a share, as per the company's plan to grow the payment in line with the CPIH measure of inflation. The base for comparison here is last year's first half payment of 16.59p a share. Note that in terms of earnings per share, United Utilities has guided to a 10% increase in revenues thanks to inflation, higher operating costs and depreciation, flat finance expenses, and a higher tax credit, plus higher regulatory performance payments. As a result of all of that, profits and earnings per share are seen rising quite sharply on a stated basis in the year to March 2025 as a whole. Thank you for watching. Hope that you and your families are all keeping well, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.